Your one click on the subscribe button makes a huge difference. Thank you for your kind support.
The story of this episode begins with the mysterious death of a woman who falls from the bell tower of the Frog and Cheetah, a local pub in Brokenwood. The timing of this tragic incident is what makes it all the more puzzling. It occurs just after a performance by the 1980s band, Stolen Arrow. The woman, dressed in a unique and colorful outfit, immediately becomes the center of an investigation when Detective Mike Shepard and his team are called to the scene. The initial question is simple but critical. Did she fall? Or was she pushed? Or perhaps, did she jump? However, questions quickly multiply as the case deepens, pulling the team into a world filled with musical nostalgia, long-hidden secrets, questionable motives, and the darker aspects of fandom. The victim is identified as Peggy, a passionate and dedicated fan of Stolen Arrow. According to eyewitness accounts, Peggy was front and center during the performance, pouring her energy into being the ultimate fan. Her enthusiasm clearly set her apart from the rest of the crowd, which quickly leads to speculation about her connection to the band. Could her devotion have led her to attempt a dramatic gesture from the bell tower? Or is there something more sinister at play? The discovery of a ladder, marked as belonging to the pub's owner Ray, near the scene of her fall raises further questions. Ray is quick to deny placing the ladder against the wall, claiming it is usually locked in a shed that, as it turns out, doesn't exist. This detail hints that someone had purposely used the ladder to gain access to the roof. Things take an interesting turn when the band members of Stolen Arrow come into focus. The current lineup includes Anton Ridgely on keyboards, Nick Sloan on guitar, Elaine Young on bass, and drummer Paul Black, one of the original members from the band's heyday. While Paul brings a sense of legacy to the group, the dynamics among the band members appear complex. Elaine Young, the female bass player, immediately catches the attention of some characters with her enigmatic charm, but it becomes evident early on that the band members might not be as unified as they seem on the surface. Detective Shepard and his team quickly realize they need to dig into the band's history to understand Peggy's obsession and to figure out what events may have led to her untimely death. The examination of Peggy's death reveals no immediate signs of foul play, but the circumstances are far from ordinary. The ladder's placement and the involvement of a secluded area like the bell tower raise questions about how Peggy gained access and whether someone assisted or coerced her. The autopsy conducted by Dr. Gina Kadinsky confirms that she died from the fall, with injuries consistent with hitting the ground from such a height. However, the lack of clear evidence of a struggle complicates matters further. The investigation, therefore, expands to focus more on the events leading up to Peggy's death, particularly her interactions at the concert and her connection to Stolen Arrow. Peggy's life as a fan seems to hold the key. Her scrapbook of band memorabilia and handwritten letters addressed to the band members become important clues. Her unwavering dedication to the band is both fascinating and unsettling, as it borders on obsession. As the detectives look into the history of Stolen Arrow, they uncover details that suggest the band has a darker side. Originally a popular act in the 1980s, Stolen Arrow experienced internal conflicts and controversies that led to the departure, or in some cases, the mysterious deaths of several original members. These revelations create a chilling undertone for the case, as the band's legacy appears to carry a shadow of misfortune, or perhaps even intentional malice. Through interviews with the current band members, Detective Shepard notices inconsistencies in their accounts of past events. Paul Black, for instance, seems loyal to the band's reputation but evades certain questions about the more turbulent moments in their history. Elaine Young, despite her glamorous stage presence, exhibits an air of guardedness, hinting that she may have secrets of her own. Nick Sloan and Anton Ridgely provide some insight but also fail to fully explain the emotional and professional ties that bind the group together. Meanwhile, the investigation delves into the fan base and the culture surrounding the band. Peggy isn't the only devoted follower of Stolen Arrow, but her level of commitment far exceeds that of the average concertgoer. Some of the band's older fans, who remember them from their golden years, describe Peggy's presence as intense and sometimes unsettling. One retired fan recounts an occasion when Peggy became emotional at a band meet and greet, desperately trying to give a gift to Paul Black. Others reveal that she was known to follow the band on tour, always occupying the most visible positions in the audience. This level of devotion casts doubt on whether Peggy's tragic demise could be considered an accident. Was she simply an overzealous fan who lost her footing, or could her intense connection to the band have made her a target for someone with ill intent? At the Frog and Cheetah, Ray's initial indifference about Peggy's death shifts as more evidence comes to light. His claim that the latter was taken from his property without permission leads the detectives to question local handyman Todd Taylor, who occasionally works at the pub. Todd's nervous demeanor raises some suspicion, particularly when it's revealed that he was also present at the concert. Although Todd denies any involvement or knowledge of Peggy's death, his connection to the venue and the presence of the latter remain unexplained. It's clear that Todd knows more than he's letting on, but whether his knowledge directly pertains to Peggy's fall remains uncertain. The second performance by Stolen Arrow, scheduled for the night following Peggy's death, becomes a significant event in the investigation. Shepard and his team attend the concert, observing the dynamics between the band members and the audience. The atmosphere at the gig is noticeably tense. Some fans are visibly shaken by the news of Peggy's death, while others seem determined to enjoy the night regardless. On stage, the band struggles to recapture their energy from the previous performance, and subtle tensions between the members hint at unresolved issues. A particularly telling moment occurs when Paul Black dedicates a song to Peggy, his voice faltering slightly as he does so. This emotional gesture appears genuine on the surface, but Shepard notes Elaine Young's reaction, an almost imperceptible roll of her eyes, suggesting not everyone in the band shares Paul's sentiments. Through further investigation, the detectives piece together critical connections between Peggy and the band. It turns out that Peggy had written numerous letters to Paul Black over the years, some of which were returned unopened while others were kept by Paul but never acknowledged. These letters, found in Peggy's collection, reveal her deep sense of personal connection to Paul's music and lyrics. One letter, in particular, stands out. It references a specific incident from Stolen Arrow's early days, something only an insider would know about. This detail raises the possibility that Peggy had discovered a buried secret about the band, one that could explain the motives behind her death. The breakthrough comes when Todd Taylor finally admits that he saw someone climbing the ladder the night Peggy died. Terrified of being implicated, Todd hesitated to come forward, but ultimately reveals that the person he saw was wearing a distinctive jacket associated with the band's merchandise from the 1980s. A jacket worn by Anton Ridgely earlier that evening. When confronted, Anton initially denies involvement but later confesses to climbing the roof after the concert to retrieve a banner left there by fans as part of the show. However, his account raises more questions than it answers. Why would Peggy be on the roof at the same time? And why didn't Anton call for help when he saw her? The final pieces of the puzzle fall into place when Elaine Young reluctantly admits her role in the incident. It turns out that Peggy had confronted Elaine after the concert, accusing her of being a fraud who didn't deserve to be part of Stolen Arrow. Peggy's accusation stemmed from her belief that Elaine was exploiting the band's legacy for personal gain. The confrontation escalated, and although Elaine claims she didn't push Peggy off the roof, her refusal to intervene or call for help suggests a cold disregard for the fans' safety. Elaine's admission also sheds light on the deeper tensions within the band, as it becomes clear that she resents being seen as an outsider compared to Paul Black, the lone surviving member of the original lineup. The episode concludes with Detective Shepard reflecting on the nature of devotion and the fine line between admiration and obsession. Peggy's life, marked by her unwavering dedication to a band that ultimately disregarded her, serves as a tragic reminder of how easily passion can lead to isolation and tragedy. Stolen Arrow's tarnished legacy remains intact, but the revelations about their internal struggles and the role they played in Peggy's demise leave a lingering sense of unease. The ending underscores the complexity of human relationships within the realm of fame, fandom, and forgotten dreams, reminding us that even in the idyllic town of Brokenwood, darkness can lurk beneath the surface.